Democrats hoping to claim a House seat held by Republicans since 1979. Outside groups pouring millions into the race to support the Democrat. Handel says she's ready for the runoff.
What I am proud of on the Republican side is that it's been a competitive campaign. No coronation, which is what occurred on the Democrat side. I think the president is interested in what happens here, and why wouldn't he be? He's a Republican president, so of course he has a vested interest in making sure that a Republican holds the seat.
Chief White House correspondent John Roberts joins us now live. All right, John, the election in this historically conservative district now goes to a runoff, raises the stakes for both parties ahead of the 2018 midterms.
It certainly is. Good morning to you, Shannon. You know, the Masters golf tournament went to a sudden death playoff, and so will the race for the 6th congressional district in Georgia. The Democratic frontrunner, Jon Ossoff, came a lot closer to 50% than a lot of Republicans would have thought he could or would have liked him to. In a field of 5 candidates, Ossoff collected 48.1% of the vote. In a big field of 11 Republicans, Karen Handel emerged the winner with 19.8%. Now the two, as you said, head for a runoff on the 20th of June. Democrats had billed this race as a referendum on President Trump. Hollywood stars Samuel L. Jackson, George Takei, John Leguizamo all getting behind Ossoff. Democrats amassing a war chest of more than $8 million, much of that coming from outside the state. What Democrats had hoped for last night was to get Ossoff above the 50% mark last night and win it all. That didn't happen, but even though he fell short, Ossoff was declaring victory, of a sort at least. Listen here.
No matter what the outcome is tonight, whether we take it all or whether we fight on, we have defied the odds. We have shattered expectations.
With his political reputation on the line, President Trump invested some capital in the race, tweeting about it, recording robocalls late last night. The president tweeting, quote, despite major outside money, fake media support, and 11 Republican candidates, big R win with runoff in Georgia, glad to be of help. The president called the Republican winner Karen Handel this morning. She is the former Secretary of State. She also was a gubernatorial candidate a number of years ago, candidate in the Senate race that David Perdue won recently. She appeared on Fox and Friends last hour. Here she is.
The president was beyond gracious and encouraging, and I appreciated it so much. And he specifically talked about strength under pressure, and I was grateful for that as well. As we come into June 20th over the next 2 months, we need every single Republican we can get, including the president, to be coalesced and united as we come into fighting what's going to be, it will be a tough race because the Democrats are going to pour so much money.
Handel says that she has talked to most of the Republicans who are running against her, the other 10 stressing the need, Shannon, for them all to get on the same page and campaign for this June 20th runoff.
Okay, and with that in mind, how is that matchup now shaping up?
Well, the runoff would seem to logically favor the Republican candidate. I mean, as you pointed out, this is a district that hasn't been held by a Democrat since 1978. It was Newt Gingrich's district. It was Johnny Isaac's district. Tom Price, the Health and Human Services Secretary, held it for a number of years. He won it with 62% of the vote back in November, but that was down from 64% in 2012 and 66% in 2010. So there's been some erosion there, and certainly the demographics of the state of Georgia are changing. There are more Democratic voters. President Trump again tweeting this morning, quote, Democrats failed in Kansas and are now failing in Georgia. Great job, Karen Handel. It is now Hollywood versus Georgia on June the 20th. Unlikely that the demographics have changed enough for the Democrat to pull out a win on June 20th, but Lindsey Graham saying this morning that the closeness of this race last night should be a wake-up call to the GOP that there are a lot of moderates out there that they need to pay attention to. Shannon?
All right, we will see in just a few short weeks. John Roberts, thank you.